Now, sharing more of my conversation that I had a few days ago with Seattle Police Officer Guild President Kent Liu. And I hit him up last week about World Cup preparations and then obviously all of the attention that we've been talking about up on Aurora Avenue North and business owners and residents who live along there taking over the streets a couple of weeks ago in their own protests, demanding that the city get involved and do something to stop the crime up there, the ongoing, the sex trafficking operations that are going on. But we also waded into a number of other public safety issues. And one of those I wanted to bring to your attention today was his explanation to me how demoralizing it is for the officers in his department that they really arresting somebody in many cases, even someone that they can see doing drugs, illicit drugs, an open air drug market. Even if you catch that person, he explained to me it is really difficult. And 9 out of 10 times, those were his words, you really aren't going to get that person booked into jail. He explained a big reason for this is the whole King County proceeding, the inquest procedures in King County that he says are really still an obstacle for public safety enforcement. And he says it's costing the taxpayer a heck of a lot of money.
The criminal justice system is just that. It's a system, and it's complex, and it's bigger than just the line officers in uniform. I don't think people realize that when we make certain arrests, because of policy coming down from King County, for example, we have a very difficult time booking people into jail. First, Seattle doesn't have a municipal jail. We do not have our own jail, right? So we rely on King County Jail. These policies, procedures, standing operating procedures coming from King County are disastrous for our ability to clean these streets up. So you look at the drug epidemic, these open air drug markets. I probably can't book over 90% of those people into jail without first going to a hospital and sitting on them for hours. And I mean minimum of, say, 6 hours for an observation period. Because what they're probably going to say is I swallowed dope. Or they're going to say I was raped. Or they're going to say, or they're going to refuse to answer medical questions and they're going to be denied. So a lot of this comes from the King County Health Services. And this was all kind of implemented and done, I think, one, to reduce liability for King County. Some of this is left over from Dow Constantine in his never-ending quest to revamp the inquest proceeding in this county, which is unlike anything else in the entire country. No one does it like King County. So what that means for the public is every in-custody death receives an inquest. That is very unusual. I don't think it happens anywhere else in the entire country. That's costing the taxpayers millions of dollars. I have inquest proceedings going on with officers right now from incidents that happened in 2019. So many years ago, the prosecutors have looked at these cases and already determined there's nothing here. There's nothing criminal here. This is closed. So what I tell people is, I said, you have courts. You have civil court, you have criminal court, and you have kangaroo court. This is kangaroo court. There is nothing that's coming from this. This is only costing the taxpayers millions of dollars. It's an absolute and utter waste.
Now, the Seattle Police Officer Guild president also told me that, yes, his department now, his officers, incoming officers are among the best paid of any major city in the entire nation right now. They went years operating without a new contract, but they were able to negotiate that. And the city signed off on increases. So, incoming officers, again, are among the best paid in the entire country. But he said, given the frustration for officers with the revolving door, and not being able to help, struggling business owners downtown who are pleading with officers on the street saying, "Can you do something about the drug addict who's sleeping on my business doorstep? Can you, help me out here?" Um, because of that frustration of not being able to really support the community that they are charged with, providing public safety for, he said that is sort of a crutch for them. They can't bring officers in and lure them in, even though they've got this great pay scale for them starting in, or lure them from a neighboring agency because Seattle police officers feel like they're really sort of handcuffed in doing their jobs out on the streets. So they are still anywhere between 200 and 600 officers down what would be, if they were completely up to where they should be for numbers, based on the fact that, they're one of the largest cities in the nation, but, hard to recruit when you can't have officers that are like, "Yeah, come here. Morale's great, everything's great." That's a problem for the Seattle Police Department.